Do you want me to keep packing? Yes. Let me text. Let me respond to him and say yes, unless. Hi, YouTube. Unless you're just wasting time. Unless you're just avoiding me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so good morning. Happy Tuesday. Excited to see everybody. Again, I'm sure some people will hop on in a few minutes. We're right at 10:03. But good to see you. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over with you guys today, and we probably will have a short day today because we're hopping in the car going to Atlanta. First thing, just from a leadership and a building perspective, it would have been very easy for me to cancel this call today, right? And I would have had a great excuse to cancel this call today. But if I cancel this call today, then we get out of the habit of showing up on a Tuesday call, right? And I know that sounds silly, but it's absolutely what happens. And, if you cancel one call, it takes them 2 weeks to come back. If you cancel, two calls, it takes them a month, and then they just stop showing up. So we will always have these calls, and sometimes I'm going to tap on some of you guys to spread your knowledge and share your life. I just didn't do it quick enough this time. So thank you for joining today. All right, so we're going to talk about a couple of things. The first thing that I want you guys to know, I've got WhatsApp on my computer and on my phone, and I'm sure most of you guys do as well. But even if you don't, your phone works just this way. And I want to show you this because I think it's important. So when you're in your WhatsApp chat, right? Oh, just kidding. Hold on. Let me stop this. Let me go mute myself on YouTube because he's talking to me too. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when you're in your WhatsApp chat, you obviously see all of the chats on the left, and then I've clicked on Justice League. So on Justice League, I can see everything here, right? I can see everything that was here. But if I click on the actual name at the top of the chat, either on my phone or on my computer, it's going to bring up my chat, right? And in this chat, you can see it on my screen on the right-hand side. On your phone, it just takes over, right? You're going to see this that says media links and docs. So if I click on media links and docs, it's literally going to open that up. So all of the pictures that have ever been posted since you joined WhatsApp are here. All of the documents that have ever been posted since you joined WhatsApp are here. Hold on, I'm zooming, babes. I love you. Call your father. Is that? I mean, he should be, but he's not. He's packing. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. All of the documents that have posted since you joined WhatsApp are here. All of the links that have been posted since you joined WhatsApp are here. So I want you to know the tools that you have access to and how they work, because I think it's really important. It's much easier to click on those documents and links than it is to scroll back through that chat and see, where was it? I know it was here, right? And you need to teach that to your teammates as well. So today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. First of all, the flyers for Thursday night are always here, and they are always exactly the same. If you want to change it and put it in Chat GPT or Canva or whatever and do your magic, nobody cares. Do it, right? But as far as the ones that I will repost every single week, they are in your chat. So you don't have to wait for me to post them. If you're like, oh, I need to send this to somebody, go to the pictures, copy it, and paste it. So it's always literally back there, right? So let me stop this. So you can see them here, 1, 2, 3, whichever version you like. This one has our logo and the Team Legacy logo on it. This one has Jody's face on it. And then this one is just generic and plain. So whichever one that you want to use it, but know that they're there at your fingertips. And I will repost it every Thursday, but just know that that's where it is. Okay, for those of you in Atlanta and for those of you not in Atlanta, and you'll see this too. So this one has no logos. This one has logos and a website. Whatever you prefer, it's there and it's available to you. I think, keeping them in the dark as far as who we are until they get there. I'm just kidding. I don't think it really matters, but whatever you prefer. So tonight in Alpharetta, for those of you that are local, from 6 to 7, we have a networking power hour. So come, rub elbows, have snacks. I know Matt is providing those snacks tonight, hors d'oeuvres tonight. I can say hors d'oeuvres, but I can't spell it. So I'm like, snacks will be provided. Unless I take my time to spell it, right? but he's also providing breakfast in the morning. So take a minute, say thank you very much. But this is also something that we are going to replicate virtually. I think that's a big missed opportunity that we have right now, is that we are not doing virtual seminars, and we should. If we go into the effort, go through the effort of creating this for an in-person event, we should replicate it online too. So all of you that are local, I want you to come in person, period. Not asking, not an option. If you're serious about your business, you'll be there. It's once a quarter, and it's a great opportunity for you to bring people in your car, put them in your car and say, hey, you're coming with me. Kansas is calling me. I bet that's a spam. What do y'all think? I bet my loan's approved. Do y'all get this? So it's a great opportunity for you to put people in the car. It says that the event's from 7 to 9. It's probably realistically 7 to 8:30. And then, 8:30 to 9 will be the kisses and goodbyes and so good to see you and chatting. But we're going over 4 different topics, right? The first, we'll start with the new rules of wealth for women. And the reason we're doing that is because it's Women's Empowerment Month, Women's History Month. But obviously, the rules of wealth for women are the same rules of wealth for men. So we will address that from the front of the room as well. Also, starting young, taking control, building your tax-free wealth. Like, why should I start now? What does that look like? The be your own bank strategy, right? Those two go hand in hand. The starting young, building tax-free strategy is your IUL conversation. The be your own bank strategy is the IUL conversation as well, but it's enough money to be a bank, right? If I got $500 a month going in there, I can't borrow for myself in the first year because I have no money. So when I have money in my bank, right, inside my IUL, then I can borrow from it. And then the last thing is protect and strengthen your retirement. So basically talking about annuities. If I could take, instead of taking $1 million to create a $40,000 income stream, if I could take $500,000 and leave you with an extra $500,000 and create that same income stream for the rest of your life guaranteed, would you be interested? Yes. Why would you not? Right. So that's really that conversation. So those are all of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So those of you that are local, I'm excited to see you. Tomorrow morning is going to be from 9 to noon. We're starting on time and we're ending right at noon because I got to run the noon call. Obviously, you'll be at the office. You're welcome to hang out and chat and all that kind of stuff. But breakfast will be provided by Matt. And I know what it is. It's going to be hot breakfast and some cold breakfast. So you'll be fed very, very well tomorrow. Okay. So now that you guys know where all of those are, if you are not local, then your job and your focus should be on, let me go to the breakfast thing. Where is that? Tanisha passed her test. Hi, Tanisha. Let's see. Here's our breakfast of champions thing. So we're going to talk about building your business. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about social media. And we're going to talk about financial tools as well. So all of that will be tomorrow from 9 to noon. For those of you that aren't local, it's a possibility that we'll decide to live stream it, just in case you want to watch it. But it's going to be last minute decision because I don't know how all that's set up and who's in the room. So just know that. So all of that's at your fingertips. I wanted you to know how to access it through WhatsApp because, again, I think that's very, very, very important, is to know the tools that you have and how to use them. So let's talk about where we are in the system now. If we go here and we go here, remember, if we go to ebooks, we go to help and resources, tools and resources, and then we go to ebooks and we click on it. We are now in step number 3, which is the presentation, which I think is the perfect time for this conversation because it applies to tonight. And it also applies to every single Thursday night or anytime we're having a meeting with anyone. And I want you to understand some of this seems common sense, but it is the psychology behind what we do that you need to know and you need to understand. So the presentation, the business opportunity presentation, the purpose of that is what? What's the purpose of a business opportunity presentation? You can read it from the screen if you'd like. It's listed there. Poor Gail's the only one that's going to play. Can you read it, Gail?
Sure. Yeah. So the main purpose of the business opportunity presentation is to resell the dream to the existing leaders. I know I need that too every once in a while. That's why I love the conferences. It gets me excited again. Um, Teach existing leaders how to sell the dream and to sell the dream to new prospects and set a follow-up, get started interview in the next 1 or 2 days.
Perfect. And that's exactly why we do that. Number one, we do that to resell the dream to you, right? And to me. And like Gail said, like to herself. Like when I first started getting back on the Thursday nights and they were so big and they were so full of energy and they still are, not were as past tense, but I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like I remember why I do this and it reminds me. So that is the first purpose of any meeting and any presentation is to remind you why we're doing this, right? When you go to church every Sunday, you're like, oh, this feels good. I should do this. I want to be a good person. Or you go to the gym, you're like, oh, this feels good. I want to get fit, and then maybe you're going to go again, right? It reminds you of the things that you should be doing. Number two is to teach the existing leaders how to sell a dream. The goal for you guys being on the BOP is definitely to resell the dream to you, but it's also so you can replicate it at some point in time. Like I would love to have a rotation so big that, we do the BOP once every 3 months because we have such strong, powerful people that are delivering that same message exactly the same way I would, Jody would, James would, Zach would. Like we want to build leaders, right? But in order to do that, you have to understand the verbiage behind it. You have to understand what we're talking about. You have to understand how to articulate that. And finally, number three, which you think would be number one, is to sell the dream to the new prospects. And then to set a follow up, getting started interview in the next 1 to 2 days. That is so crucial. Even if they do not show up to the presentation, if you invite them, you should reach out to them and say, hey man, I know you weren't able to make it. Maybe it was too last minute for you, whatever, too late. I don't care. But let's set a time this week. I still want to show you what I do, right? Because now you've engaged in that conversation. Now you want to continue that conversation. I still want to show you what I do. So let's grab a cup of coffee. Let's grab a drink. Let's go play basketball. Nico's a big basketball guy, right? Let's do all these different things. But I want to share with you my message and share with you what I do. So either set a follow-up in the next 1 to 2 days if they don't show up, or if they do show up, say, Gail, wasn't that amazing? What intrigued you the most? I love that crusade. Awesome. I don't have a lot of time tonight because obviously it's super late. I just want to say thank you and I'm excited you were here. But let's touch base tomorrow. You got time around 2 o'clock to hop on Zoom for about 15 minutes? Yeah, sure. No, that doesn't work. Okay, what about Friday at 10, whatever, right? Give them two choices and schedule that follow up. And that follow up is the getting started interview. So let me stop this for a second and let me show you guys again on this WhatsApp here. If I go back to, remember I'm in media links and docs, and some of you that are new, you won't be able to see this. But if I go back to the documents, and maybe I can't see all of them, so I might not be able to see it either. Let's see. Let's see. If I go back to the documents, the hiring interview is here. And I'll repost that later today. Come on, scroll down. Oh, just kidding. My screen sharing decided it wanted to stop. Oh, and my WhatsApp chat closed. Anyway, it's there. And I'll repost it so you have it today. Just because there is a method to the madness. There's a method to the questions that you ask these people in this hiring interview. We're going to teach that later in this chapter, but I wanted you guys to understand that it is scripted. If any of you have been on BOPs with me and you've seen those follow-up phone calls or Zooms, you know that I ask the same questions every single time. If you haven't realized that because you're new, when you see this hiring interview, you're like, you did that to me. So it doesn't feel awkward and weird. It feels like a natural conversation, but the questions that you ask are definitely scripted. Okay. So before you see what actually happens in the BOP itself, it's time to take a look to the dynamics of a successful meeting. So a lot of this is going to apply to in-person meetings, but you can also replicate a lot of it online. So we call the before the meeting the MoZone. And you'll hear that for your entire career here, creating the MoZone. Who knows what MoZone means? I know Gail knows. Anybody else? Come on. That's why we're doing this. I don't know if y'all just don't want to play today or you don't know. Up, Maria.
Yes, good morning. I
Good
love your
morning.
training.
Mhm.
The MoZone is when you connect with the people, when you welcome them, when you start transferring to them the vibes, then you are in the right place at the right time. I'm so happy to see you, transferring to them that energy, then they see, oh my God, it's something different here. I just like these people. I just want to be with them. And it starts to set in the mood, okay, for them to say, oh, I need to do this. I don't care what they are doing. I need to do this.
Exactly. It's just like going to a concert and you've got the warm up performer, right? The whatever you call them.
The
But they're
opening
there.
act.
What do you call it?
The
Opening
opening
act.
act. It
Yeah, they're
actually,
there to get you excited,
yeah.
get you engaged. So when the big man comes on, you're like, yeah, right? Um, Anybody know what the word mozone means? The two words that come together to create it.
It actually stands for momentum zone.
Yeah. Momentum zone, which
Mhm.
is exactly what Maria just described, right? So if you
Right.
think about momentum, you're coming together in this zone. And think about it at any meeting you've ever been to. When we're at the HGI office, or we're in Vegas, or we're at Top Gun, or something like that, there's always a meeting before the meeting, right? There's always music, there's always energy, there's always excitement that's happening. Um, Before the actual meeting, right? So that is called the MoZone. If you have a hop, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I think we should absolutely start scheduling these home opportunity presentation. If we have these home opportunity presentations, first of all, congrats, Tanisha. I want to say congrats on your license. Let me stop this share.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're proud of you. Yay. So everybody
Thank
say
you.
congrats to Tanisha. Unmute and say congrats. Y'all can do that. They're scared of talking this morning, Tanisha, but they're going
Congratulations, Tanisha.
to.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Hooray.
Y'all sound so excited today. Okay. So, but the momentum zone, even if you have a hop, it is the pre-meeting, right? You're having a barbecue at your house, or you're having cocktails at your house to tell people what you're doing. They're not going to come into a silent room and sit down like they're sitting in a library, right? That'd be boring, and they'd be like, Gil, you can't really throw a party this awful, right? So you're intending to throw a party, right? You're creating that energy, that excitement. And just like Maria said, where they're like, I don't know what these people do, but I want to be part of it. They enjoy themselves. They're having fun. So you're running the dream selling machine and creating an exciting, quality, professional recruiting environment. You're capitalizing on the magic of the crowds. And we're doing that on Thursday nights too. We don't start early, and that might be something that we tweak, just letting people in with some music or something like that. I know Rory does that very well virtually. But ultimately, capitalizing on the magic of the crowds and the synergy that's created by a large group of people. The more people you have, the greater the sense of urgency to get in and get started. The excitement and enthusiasm becomes contagious, and you guys are going to see this tonight when you're in person. And the success of your meetings will be dictated by the size of your crowds. With HGI, you have so much to work with, it's nearly impossible to give a bad presentation. So the BOP, the BOP stands for Business Opportunity Presentation. We are showing you what you do. At the end of it, you're going to say, I am interested in getting my plan done. I am interested in coming to work with you. I just want to send you referrals. Great. There's no reason to have a bad presentation because it doesn't hurt, right? It's not gonna, they don't bite you, and they don't hang up on you. Like, we're not high pressure sales or anything like that. So all of them will be successful, just maybe in a different way. But the psychology of the BOP has proven to be highly successful, and all you have to do is learn how to master it. If you have a one-on-one BOP, those are at coffee shops. Those are individual Zooms, where maybe two of us are together. That's the second option, is a one-on-one BOP. It might be the first conversation that you have with them, and then get them to a Thursday night. There's no wrong way to do this, right? The key is just doing it. Focus on how to make a powerful one-on-one presentation, which is different than a big room bop. A big room bop, you can just talk a lot, right? A powerful one-on-one presentation, you've got to engage your crowd. You got to have them respond back to you and talk with you and engage with them. And then the hop is the third option. It's a home opportunity presentation. If any of you guys have ever been in network marketing, which is not what we do, but it's similar, right? Or owned a restaurant, or opened a business, opened a clothing store, it's all exactly the same, right? You create this big opportunity, say, hey, I'm starting a business, come support me, right? And that's very easy to do. It's very easy to do at your home. Cheryl, who's not on today, used to have, I think it was monthly, like it was like Monday margaritas and money or something like that. And she had a bunch of women come in, and they were there for like an hour, and the first probably 30 minutes of it was just that MoZone, right? Getting together, talking, chatting. Then, okay, I want to show you guys what I'm doing, or here's our financial tip for the week, or whatever. 15 minutes of a financial concept, and then they went on to go back to their little MoZone. But that is what's considered a home opportunity presentation. It's considered a hop. And that provides an intimate atmosphere for your friends and your family and your colleagues, people that you actually know. Have any of you guys ever bought a rainbow vacuum cleaner? Yes, no. I've had like 5 of them, literally. I think
My
they're the
mom and dad
best.
had one.
Yeah, I think they're the best vacuums ever. We
Right.
financed our very first one in college because, we couldn't afford it. So we just got on the beneficial credit or whatever it was for $40 a month to pay for this $1,500 vacuum cleaner. And then somebody stole it from our college. So then we bought another one. Like we've just always been rainbow people. But they came into your home, right? They're in this intimate environment where you can engage with people and talk to people. And that's similar to what a hop is, a little different, but similar. So understand it doesn't really matter how you have a meeting and how you talk to people. It matters that you're having meetings and that you're talking to people.
I'm gonna tell them I sold them so we could get our second one free.
You want to tell them?
Oh man, that was a hell of a vacuum.
That's joining us. Yeah. So of course you know me. I'm like, hey, they said if you sell them, we can get it for free. So
And all these attachments, man. We could get the carpet cleaning attachment, the stair tool. I mean, I had the whole thing. I had to learn this in-home presentation. Nothing like rolling up with a scheduled presentation and you see the lights go off when you pull in the driveway so they can pretend that you're not there and that they're not there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot easier to sell financial services, that's for sure. But yeah, this is
but it was fun, and that's what life's about, having fun, right?
and growing and learning. And if you want to be successful, you just keep going and find the right opportunity. And I think that that worked out for us pretty well. So.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so let's talk about this momentum zone. And this is probably where we'll stop today, so we actually can have a momentum zone in Atlanta. Because if not, you might not see us tonight. We might have to zoom in for our meeting. Just kidding. So creating the MoZone at the BOP is MoZone equals momentum zone, which we just talked about. First of all, be prepared mentally. If you've had a crappy day, do not bring it in there. Right? Whatever you got to do, fake it till you make it. Go do some jumping jacks out in the parking lot, run around the building. I don't care what you do. But when you come in there, you're excited, you're happy, you're enthusiastic, you've got conviction and team spirit. Because even if you have nobody there, your energy, your attitude, your behavior affects everyone else in the room, including other people's prospects. And you don't have my permission or anybody else's permission to bring your negative attitude in there and bring the room down, right?
Yeah, that's really when we talk about teams a lot, but if you want to equate it to being on a team on a field, that's really our game. That's game time. That's when you are part of the team. What you bring, what you offer is very, very important to the whole group, not just you and your stats, right? Maybe I didn't have the best batting average today, right? But if I showed up to do the rest of my job, it was perfect. And I didn't mean to cut you off or interrupt you, but I want to talk about number 2. Okay. Because number 2 in here is remember, people respond based on what they feel more than what they hear. Our tendency in this, whether it's in a BOP or whether it's in a one-on-one presentation or a conversation, is to think that the right words matter. And they do. People are a lot more sensitive to things nowadays and get offended and those kind of things. But the right words and details are not what people remember. They remember how you make them feel. You remember so it's not about the perfect presentation. It's not about the perfect words. It's about how you behave, how you come across. And look at the percentages here. Studies have shown that what people remember and what's really communicated is based on those percentages you see right there. 7% content, 7%
What you say.
out of 100 is what you actually say.
Word choice.
38% is how you say it. People talk a lot about pets, and they say if you talk to them in a sweet voice, then they're happy and they feel loved. So whenever I'm really mad at my dogs, I can call them stupid, and I can say I can do all that in my tone of voice, right? It's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. And then the last part is, are you confident? We talk to our kids all the time about doing the Superman pose, or if you remember the Robin Williams Hook movie, Peter Pan pose that he did. Before you get on a Zoom on an interview, we had one kid with an interview this morning that called us after it because the interviewer was in Europe. And I was like, did you stand up? Did you put yourself out there confidently? We are not just attracting people to a business. We are going to attract them to our environment. People don't want another job. They want to have fun.
Yeah.
They want to add something. If you're busy and you're working your tail off already, and you're going to show up here at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night and look at this, and if you want to add something to my life, it better be fun. Sure, it can be profitable, but it better be fun. The atmosphere of the office, at the BOP, or any training session is crucial to successful recruiting meeting. Arrive 30 minutes beforehand, like Kimberly was talking about before.
And that 30 minutes beforehand is so we have the MoZone. So if the meeting starts at 6, you should be there at 5:30. Right? If the meeting starts at 7, you should be there at 6:30, because your job as part of this team is to create this environment for people to walk into.
Yeah. Get there 30 minutes before so that you and your guests can help create. Now, there's a lot of nuances to this. When you get there with your guests, the first thing you need to do, if you have one in person, if we're probably not going to get there today, but there's a lot of things that we're talking about, different colored name tags. We talk about the actual nuances that go into running a successful meeting, but it's not to go stand off in the corner with your person and answer all their questions. It's to get your person delivered to someone else and protect them from asking you questions. It's literally so that as a team, we can all be talking to each other's people, right? And making them feel confident that this isn't just Gail trying to convince Elaine that this wackadoo thing she's doing is something that she should pay attention to. It's somebody else that is not related to Gail that is having the same conversation, that's having success, and that is able to share a positive light and be a nice person and all those kind of things. So
obviously be dressed appropriately for the meeting that you're going into, right? Don't wear your pajamas, don't wear your sweatpants, like come dressed professionally. That doesn't necessarily mean a suit and tie anymore, but you guys are smart enough to know what professional appearance means, right? Don't come straight from the gym. Make sure you're not gross and sweaty. Brush your hair, brush your teeth, things like that. But when you arrive, go directly to the business opportunity meeting room, wherever that is, and circulate and help create a friendly atmosphere. And you'll see that those of you that are in person tonight in Atlanta, it's kind of exhausting, right? Because what happens is we tend to talk to the people that we know in HGI. And if we have a guest, we bring them with us in that group of people that we know in HGI. And it's the same way anywhere else, whether it's work, whether it's our schools, whether it's church, the gym, we congregate around people that we know. But those people that we don't know don't feel comfortable in that environment, right? Because they don't know you. They don't know those people. So our job is literally to help those people circulate around the room. Make sure that you personally greet each guest. And if I meet Jade and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jade, super nice to meet you. Gail introduces me to her. She tells me who she is, that she's her daughter. She's been in, with State Farm before, whatever her story is, or some plays football, all of that, then I'm going to talk to Jade for a few minutes. Gail's going to walk away. She's going to introduce Jade to me, and she's going to deliver her to me, basically. And then Gail's going to walk away so she doesn't get caught in this awkward question and answer situation, right? When she does that, I'm going to engage Jade for a few minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jade, I want you to meet Elaine. Elaine, this is Jade. She's Gail's daughter. Her son plays football. She used to work for State Farm. She's super excited to see what we have to do. And I just wanted you to meet her. And then I'm going to let them talk for a minute or two, and I'm going to walk away. And then Elaine's going to say, you know, have this conversation. She's going to be like, oh my God, Tanisha, I want you to meet Jade. And she's literally going to do that over and over and over and over again, right? That is our job in those meetings, is to circulate those people around and not just hug our people in, because they need to be exposed to everything. And if you ever see someone that's just randomly standing against the wall, it's because they're uncomfortable. It's because they don't know anybody. And your job as an HGI associate is to go over to them and to say, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Kimberly. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Who do you know here? That is your job. That is your responsibility. So make sure that anytime you're in those environments, that's what you do. And you stay in that big group moment until we say, all right, guys, let's get started. And then you go to the room, or then you go to the chairs. There's the best advice I ever had, as far as, and I needed a lot more advice than I got when I had my wedding, was don't put, I needed a lot of advice. I'm just kidding. Don't put enough chairs for people to sit down, because if you do, guess what happens? They all sit down. Right? So leave half the chairs out of the space, because you want them to dance. So Jade, there's a tip for you. You want them to dance. You want them to be engaged. Do not leave enough chairs for them to sit down, because if they do, they will. That's the comfort area. So when you're in that MoZone room, and for those of you that have been to Atlanta, you can kind of envision it. The MoZone's out in the lobby, and then we go into the meeting room. Don't go into the meeting room until we say, hey, it's time for the meeting. Because if you do, you take them out of that energy, you take them out of that environment. So don't hang around in the halls, the lobby, the sidewalk, the parking lot, etc. Even if you're waiting for your guest, wait in the business opportunity meeting room only. Stay at the back of the room so you don't interrupt people when you go out to get them or whatever. But also don't neutralize the excitement of the environment with technical details or negatives. There is nothing negative in your life at this moment. Again, even if you've had the shittiest day you've ever had in your entire life, and I'm going to say shitty in the presentation tonight too. You guys are going to love it. There is nothing negative about it, right? It is happy. It is exciting, because nobody came to hear your baggage. They came for this hope and opportunity and this positivity, right? If I don't like Elaine, I cannot tell you, or my teammate next to me, or somebody else in the office, how much she drives me crazy. I actually love Elaine, but I can't do that, right? That's important to understand, especially think about it like the work cooler, the water cooler, right? Or the coffee place at traditional offices. If you've never been in one, you've seen them on TV shows, right? You get there and you just start complaining about everything and everybody around you. That will happen in an environment when you work closely together. It's just the way it is. It happens in families, it happens in businesses, all of that. Don't be part of that. If that happens, say, you need to find something else to think about and walk away. If you engage in it, it grows.
Really, one of the biggest points of that too is if you walk into the office, which I know a lot of us that are on here aren't doing that. We don't have this in-person meeting, so it might sound like this kind of stuff's irrelevant, that what we're talking about, but it's not, because it applies across the board. But when it says negatives, it's talking about if you walk in and it looks like somebody didn't wipe the counter off. Like, don't
wipe the counter.
Do that, yes, but don't apologize for it to your guest. Walk them in a different direction. Don't say, oh, sorry about this not being this way, or whatever else. Don't make a negative that's not there. Same come with overcoming objections in sales. Wait till they happen. So
have all of the guests sign in and register. We'll have a sign-in sheet and get them a name tag. Like Zach said, there are methods to the name tags. If you are new, you get a red name tag. If you are an associate, you get a blue name tag. Why?
So we know who to talk to.
So you know who to talk to.
If there's
So
a
you
red
know
name
who's
tag,
new.
if there's a red name tag standing by themselves looking awkward, it is your job. I don't care who invited them. I don't care whose team they are.
How awkward
I
it
don't
feels.
care how strange they look. You got to go over and talk to them. So go make them feel part of the group.
All right, so let's go to number 6. Use proper leadership edification. Some of you have seen this on HGI TV. You've seen it, or Leadership Live. You've seen it in conferences. You've seen it when people get up to speak. They say thank you and they edify their upline. They edify their leaders, right? And so basically, when you introduce guests to the leaders and to the speaker, this is going to help develop a closeness between the speaker and your guest. If I introduce Zach to Jody, I'm going to say, Zach, I want you to have the opportunity to meet Jody. Like, he is unbelievably amazing. He's basically like the CEO of our company and runs around the world and helps everybody build their businesses. And he's just great. He's been in this industry forever. And I want you to learn from him and I want to introduce you to him. Jody, Zach used to be a school teacher. He's amazing. So edify your leadership and edify your guest to your leader, right? Make sure to use the guest name often during conversation with the speaker. Good news is we're going to have a name tag with just your first name in big, bold print with a Sharpie so they can read it. But say multiple times, Jody, this is Gail. I just wanted to introduce you to Gail because she's amazing. And Gail, you'll really like Jody. And right, I just said Gail's name 3 different times in like 1/2 a second, right? So you do that so the speaker will remember. So when he's in front of the room, he can be like, oh, and Gail, remember, right? And he remembers your name because he's heard it so many times during that initial interaction. And obviously, the use of a person's name is a positive form of recognition. Zach will give you his teacher joke. You want to give it to him quickly?
But they've probably all heard it. They always say that in sales, the sweetest sound is your own name. So if you're talking and I'm selling to Jade, I'm going to talk about Jade and I'm going to say, what do you think, Jade? I'm going to go through this whole thing. But I say anybody that says that's never been a school teacher. Because if I had $1 for every time, Mr. Odie, Mr. Odie, Mr. Odie, Mr. Odie, I was like, shut up. I don't want to hear my name again. Leave me alone. Go. That's 7th grade, though. That's just who they all are at that point in time. So.
Okay. We're going to get through this quickly so we can leave. But find a guest, find your guest a seat near the front. So when you walk into the meeting room, fill in those existing upfront seats. If they're up front, they're going to pay more attention, right? Before requesting new ones to be set up. There might be a chair monitor. There might not be. You can be the chair monitor. But don't sit with your guest unless you're staying for the entire meeting. I would say don't sit with your guest. If at all possible, do not sit with your guests, because if you do, they're going to try to talk to you during the thing, right? They're going to ask you questions. They're going to do all of this kind of stuff, and they're going to watch what you do. Probably when this manual was written, cell phones weren't really a thing. Turn off your cell phone and put it away. Don't have it in your hand. Don't have it in your chair. Don't pull it up and start scrolling on it, because whatever you do, your guests are going to replicate. They're going to do exactly what you do, not what you say, right? It's distracting to them. And even if you don't have a guest, all of the people around you are watching you too. And if you're disengaged and disinterested, they're disengaged and disinterested. Your job for this entire event is to be the perfect role model, right? To be engaged, to be enthusiastic, to take notes, but to definitely engage with the presenter. If you're not going to be staying in the meeting, sometimes we'll have breakout rooms. So we'll have a BOP and then a breakout room to training for associates. Then tell them they're going to be spending time with Jody or with James or with Zach or whoever. And you're going to be in the next room in training, and that you'll meet them as soon as the meeting's over and to enjoy their time with whoever you just introduced them to, right? If you're going to stay in the meeting with your guests, just like I just said, don't talk during the meeting. Don't answer questions. The speaker asks the crowd during the meeting. So if Jody asks a question from the front of the room, or I ask a question from the front of the room, don't be like, because I know you know the answer. I want your guests to engage, right? Don't get up and leave during the meeting. If you're in there, you're in there. You don't need to go refill your coffee. You don't need to go pee. Stop drinking during the meeting, right? Like if that's the thing, then don't drink your water bottle. Like if it's gonna make you go to the bathroom, just wait. Squeeze your legs together, whatever you gotta do. Go right before it starts, but don't get up during the meeting, because it's distracting to your guest and to everyone around you. And remember, before and after the meeting is for guests. If you have any questions or comments or things that you want to take care of, wait until all of the guests are gone. This time is not for you. We can have the meeting after the meeting for all of that information. Toward the end of the meeting, RMDs and other leaders will be introduced because it's important for them to understand the leadership in the room. People that hold those positions have earned the right to be introduced individually, and these leaders will typically be setting, the getting started interview. If you have a guest that is there and you are not one of those people that are going to be holding that getting started interview, if Nico brings Mitchie, right, then at the end of it, Nico's going to go up to Mitchie and say, oh my gosh, wasn't that amazing? Didn't you love it? What intrigued you the most? I need to introduce you again to Kimberly, or get you to Kimberly. Her calendar fills up so quickly, but I want to make sure that you get on her schedule, and you meet with her because she's amazing, or whatever. She's amazing. Please say that about me. Whatever, right? But make sure that your guest gets back with that leader, so that leader can schedule that follow-up for you. If you can't be available for that follow-up, do not say it right then. If you bring someone to me, I'm going to say, all right, Mitchie, Nico brought you to me. Let's talk about your schedule. What intrigued you the most? Oh, I love this business, and I love the crusade. Awesome. I can't wait to talk to you more about that. Let's schedule a time where we can have this conversation. Is Tuesday at 10 a.m. or Friday at 2 better for you? I'm not saying what's your schedule. My time is just as valuable as Mitchie's. If she were going to go meet with a banker, or she were going to have a job interview, it is not on Mitchie's time frame. It is on that person she's meeting with, right? So I can easily say, and this is something Jeannie always said that was magical. And she would say, Mitchie, do you control your own schedule? What's Mitchie going to tell me? She's going to say yes. Even if she doesn't, she's going to say yes, because she does not want to say that, right? And if she says, no, I don't control my own schedule at all, okay, then what are your free times? If that's true, then they'll say that. But most of the time, they can make time for a 30-minute phone call if you make it a priority. And by setting those expectations up front, they take you more seriously, right? They respect you differently. They respect that meeting differently. So I'm going to schedule that meeting with Mitchie. And then if Nico's like, Kimberly, I can't be there Friday at 2, but don't worry about it. I got this. It is more important for Mitchie to have her follow up than for Nico to be there to watch it. Ideally, it all works out. But if it doesn't, number one, I'd say, well, can you reschedule what you got going on? But if you can't, and sometimes that's the truth, right? Fine, we're still holding the meeting. You don't have to tell your person that you can't be there. I will apologize for you when we get on that Zoom. And usually we'll do a group text together and say, hey, Mitchie, super nice to meet you. Nico, thanks for introducing her to me. We're going to see each other again Friday at 2. I'll send you the Zoom link. Look forward to seeing you there. That way I can follow up and say, on Friday morning, hey, Mitchie, look forward to seeing you today at 2, or Thursday night. Hey, Mitchie, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2. Here's the Zoom link. Right? And if Mitchie responds back and says, yay, great, see you then, awesome. If she doesn't respond back on Friday, probably noonish, if my meeting's at 2, I'm going to be like, hey, Mitchie, just making sure you saw my text. I'm holding space for you in my calendar. I look forward to seeing you again. I'm not going to say, are you going to be there? I'm going to continue to positively reaffirm that she's going to be there. Nothing I hate more than a scheduled appointment and somebody not showing up. So I'm going to push them to respond to me, because I don't want to just sit here and be like, okay, that wasted my day, right? But that group text is going to allow you as the new person to see the interactions. And if there is any objections or any attempt to reschedule or any pushback, you can see my response to it or a leader's response to it, and not have to feel like you got to field all that on your own, okay? And then when the meeting ends, hand out the presentation questionnaires. That's what the survey is on Thursday night. If you haven't been to it, go to it, survey.joinhgi.com. That is literally the bot questionnaire from the manual. Remember, we have a system. I'm not making this up. This is what it is. And if we're in person, we're going to hand out the flyers so they can fill it out. But those questionnaires tell us what they're interested in. And while the meeting's in session, it's imperative that any conversation or business conducted in the lobby or halls be done very quietly. So if for some reason you're not in that meeting room, or there's training across the hallway or something like that, you can't disturb the people that are in that room listening to the presentation, because it's distracting, right? You've been in plenty of meetings where people outside are talking and you're like, what are they talking about? And then you try, and God, if you are in the room, please don't talk. That's even worse than talking outside of the room, right? That is so horrible when you're like, oh yeah, and you're like explaining to somebody beside you what they just said from the front of the room. You don't need to do that. They got ears, they heard it, right? We can fill them in afterwards. But do it very quietly as possible, so you don't disturb or distract people in that meeting. And then also never re-enter the meeting once it's in session. Late guests should be handled one-on-one. So what you will see in Alpharetta specifically, because that's my visual, is that when the meeting starts, there are two doors to that room. There's one in the front of the room and there's one in the back of the room. I am locking the front of the room. If you have to enter, you can enter from the back of the room quietly, and you don't go walk to the front of the room and sit in the middle of the people in the front row. No, you sit as quietly as possible in the back, right? Without interrupting people. So, we're going to go. I know we only have 10 minutes left for today. So I lied when I told you it's going to be 30 minutes, but that's me. I love this business. I love what we do. When you understand the psychology behind it and you see it working in action, it really does work. It's crazy. It's simple, but there's so much that goes into it. So become a student of the system. Really, truly engage in these conversations. If you've missed the beginning of the manual till now, they're recorded on YouTube at HGIJ League. HGIJ League is our YouTube channel for this call. It's recorded. Go watch it. If you want to watch it again, go watch it. If you've got new teammates, say, hey, start here, and have them go watch it. They can listen to it. If you live in Atlanta, you drive an hour each way anywhere you go anyway. They can listen to it while they're in the car. They don't have to watch it. They can just listen to the conversations. You listen to it again and retrain yourself, but literally become a student of the system. When you plug into this and when you act, it's not just showing up and listening to me talk every day, and sometimes act when I let them. It's literally acting. When you leave here, you have to do something. If you know anybody in Atlanta, your job today should be to pick up the phone and call them and say, I don't know what you're doing. I know this is last minute, but you should be there. Even if you're not local, do that. Pull out the stops. Text me and say, hey, these people are coming. Group text me with them. Hey, my friend Sally's coming tonight. I want to introduce you to her. She's going to be there. Look for her. And then I can say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet you. Let me know when you get here so I can introduce myself. And they feel like they're not just walking into a cold environment. So do that. Pull out the stops for that. And then obviously the next virtual opportunity for you guys is Thursday night for our business opportunity presentation.
I would tell you all, regardless of where you live and what's going on, if you want to put together a hop and you feel like you can put some people in your house, we will come to you. Well, we're going to want you to put the work in. We're going to want you to do those things. Have some phone calls with us beforehand, and have some activity going. Those things are great. If you have one person that can come in and deliver that presentation in person, and edify you and the business and help your friends and your circle get involved and get active in what's going on, we can Zoom in other leaders on the television and have a dialogue with them because of the technology that we have. And so you can Zoom in guests to that thing too. I mean, we can put it together, but that's the kind of action we need. I mean, that's really what needs to happen for each and every individual is, all right, we talk about it in HGI about going wide. That means hiring people direct to you, right? That's going to be what creates stability in your business. And I'll leave you with this little diagram or little example so you can see. Width creates stability. So if you want consistent income and you want a business that pays you, it's width. And then depth creates wealth, right? So width is going to create my monthly stability so that I can replace my 9 to 5. Depth is going to create a lot of deposits, a lot of wealth down the road. So we do that starting out with width, and that's where the list comes in. That's where all those things come together. So we all know that we can do more, right? So let's go do more.
And finally, Hubert says this tombstone's going to say, hold a meeting, right? When he's like, when I die, my tombstone's just going to say, hold a meeting. And so you guys, that's what I want you to take from today is hold a meeting. I don't care if it's one-on-one. I don't care if it's a phone call. I don't care if it's a Zoom. I don't care if it's a hop, a bop, a whatever.
It all counts.
Hold a meeting.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, bye. Love you. Mean it.
See you
See you in
Sunday night.
Atlanta.